What's up, guys? I have an interview here of Timothy on Fifi, Fev and Nick, and he's talking about the whole helicopter ordeal that he did. And speaking of helicopters, if you haven't seen the CCTV footage that me and Jodie Lee got a hold of, make sure you check it out so you can see what Timothy actually did. No one else has this footage, guys. You gotta check it out, alright? I'm plugging it here. Check it out. Anyway, this interview, I haven't put up the whole thing, so if you want to see it all, it's on the podcast, but I've got a small bit of it. So it's just Timothy talking about his time in prison and everything that went down. And yeah, so let's listen to it together and we'll see what he has to say.
And you were a pilot.
No. Let's get that straight. I was a moron. Didn't know how to fly a helicopter.
How'd you learn?
You learn on YouTube, and I took a lesson or two.
Get back on MAFS just for 1 second. How did you get around that? Because they would have done a background check.
MAFS does a very extensive check.
So they would have known you went to prison.
They didn't. You've got to tell them which countries you lived in.
You said that you told Lucinda, so she knew.
Lou knew. I almost ran into a sheriff helicopter one day because I never knew how to work the radio.
So, okay. Well, I'm glad he told Lucinda. That's good. I am surprised that a criminal check doesn't show everything. So I can go and do something atrocious in another country and no one would know if I came back to Australia. I find that weird. You know, I have to look into it. I have no idea about that sort of thing. I find it scary though that people can come into our country and we can't know what their history is. I don't know. I don't like that. Jeez, there needs to be something fixed about that. That's, you know, I mean, that's a separate thing, obviously, but I find that scary anyway. But yeah, he learnt using YouTube. I mean, hey, I think we learn a lot of things on YouTube, but I wouldn't try and, fly a helicopter afterwards. Personally, I don't think I could do that. Oh, geez. I mean, yeah, and he almost crashed. He almost crashed into another helicopter. I mean, that's so... I mean, he has said he was a moron. Yeah, I agree with you there, Timothy. That's so dangerous. I mean, you put other people's lives at risk. Some poor guy who's driving his helicopter legally, and then you come along, you could have killed all of yous. I mean, he's not saying his actions are good now, so that's good, but geez, I mean, far out. That's such a stupid thing that you did in the past. I know you're saying, you paid the price, yeah? But yeah, far out. So it did answer my question on how he got into MAFS without production knowing, though I do still feel that they don't do enough due diligence. I mean, look, we've had other past contestants with Australian convictions, and they haven't found out about those. I mean, there's no excuse there, guys, Anyway, I found this very interesting. Let me know what you guys thought, and make sure you check out our footage. I mean, no one else has this, guys. It's actual footage, police CCTV footage of trafficking being done. Have a look, okay? No one else has seen it. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought, and I'll see you guys in the next one.